Hey guys, welcome to the review and results show for the February 21st, 2023 edition of AEW Dark. My name's Dan, and I review each and every AEW show that shows like this to all of their pay-per-views. So if you missed the show and you want a quick recap, or you enjoy watching everything, you want to play stuck all things AEW, you can do so right here. So please go right below this video, click that like button, the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell, because it always let you see past, present, and future reviews that I do, but also helps others to find my channel. And without any further ado, let's get to the review. A jam-packed Dark would start off with Slim J taking on Matt Sydal, and this match was very fast-paced, starting off with a lot of roll-ups and arm drags. You even had Matt doing a nice standing twisting moonsault and then into a jumping kick to the face of Slim J. But you know, with the Trust Busters out there, you know the number games were to come into play, and Slim J would take advantage of that. He would at one point do a diving reverse DDT off the ropes that looked really good. Later on, Matt would respond by doing a leaping Hurricane Rana. Then the Trust Busters would continue to get involved as it was throughout the entire match, but they would get involved once too many times as it would backfire, allowing Matt to hit a lightning spiral to get the win. Afterwards, though, the Trust Busters would continue to do the beatdown on Matt Sydal, with Top Flight making the save, possibly setting up a trios match in the future. After that, it's Devlyn Macabre going up against the House of Black's Julia Hart, and Julia was very dominant and vicious throughout this entire match, really using the 5 count to her advantage, not really letting Devlyn do much of anything, and gets her the tap out in the Heartless for the win. Going forward, though, it really makes me wonder what exactly is going to be her position within AEW. Is she just going to continue to support her fellow members within the House of Black when she gets more wins on Dark? Or is there going to be some sort of push for her in the future? I think we'll just have to wait and see. Up next, it's the Workhorsemen teaming up against Oliver Sawyer and Jay Malachi. I always love seeing the Workhorsemen in action. Whenever JD Drake and Anthony Henry team up, it's always just so good because they work so well together. I really enjoyed Anthony's pump handle into a gutbuster that looked good, but what looked even better was he had Oliver in a Russian leg sweep position, but just rolled back and put him in a submission while flexing at Jay. That was just so damn good. Then you had JD Drake, who slingshot hit himself into the ring on top of him, which I'm sure hurt a lot because JD Drake is a big dude. Jay would try to come in with a hot tag, but wasn't effective for long as he would get hit with a flatliner combination as the Workhorsemen get another win. Then we had Lizzy and Payton Blair taking on the Renegades, and it's not often you see a pair of sisters facing off against each other in a match, but it was very cool to see, especially seeing the Renegades return in 2023. They were to go right after Lizzy and Payton and not let up at all, doing a lot of tagging in and out, great tag wrestling there. And Lizzy would try her best to avenge her sister, but to no avail, as the Renegades hit a spinebuster combo for the win. We would then go backstage where Lexi is standing with Jora, Johl, and Raju. Rohit would cut a fantastic promo. I mean, it's just simply fantastic. You have to go back and listen to this one. He would then translate Jora's promo for us by saying that waiting is no longer an option and action is a necessity. I love it. I was already a huge fan of both of these guys separately, but teaming up together, I'm very excited to see what they can do, but more on that later on in the show. Back to the ring, and this time, it's La Facción Ingobernables, Pero Peligroso, Preston Vance, going up against Blanco Loco, and I love this mask collecting gimmick that Preston has now, and with him going up against another masked wrestler, you can kind of see where exactly this is going. But before that, Preston would give a ton of shots with forearms and chops, clotheslines everywhere, but even planting with a beautiful spine buster, spine on the pine, as JR would say. Preston would eventually hit him with a discus lariat to get the win, and collects yet another mask to add to his collection. After that, it's Tony Deppen taking on Caleb Konley, and this was a fun back and forth and a very, very competitive match here. We would see a lot of chops and reversals. The best one for me was when it looked like Tony was going for a tilt-a-whirl DDT. Caleb caught him and then gave him a fisherman buster and got pretty close to a 3 count there. Caleb would then try a moonsault off the top rope, where Tony would move out of the way and take advantage with a fine knee strike, a half and half suplex, and to finish him off for good measure, a forearm to the back of the head, and gets the win in another fun match. Up next, it's the Iron Savages teaming up against Chris Sandson and Terry Kidd. And the Iron Savages basically did what they wanted in this one. They threw their opponents around like they were nothing. Terry Kidd would try to jump on the Bear Bronson's back at one point, where he would proceed to roll right on top of Chris Sandson. Oh my god, that looked like that hurt so much. He would then tag in Bear Bronson, who would do a splash off the top rope to get the win for the Iron Savages. Then it would be Jora Jarrett and Raju teaming up against Dale Springs and Bryce Cannon. I did appreciate Rohit trying to outgolf Dale, who apparently is a golfer. Stuff like that is always fun to me. You would have Jora Jarrett basically deadlifting Bryce Cannon at one point, which was very impressive. But then he would proceed to rip off not one, but two shirts that he was wearing. Wearing two shirts in this one. Dale Springs would come in, and that's when all the golf puns would come into play from commentary, and I laughed probably a little bit too much, probably more than I should have. It was too damn funny to me for some reason. In the end, though, it was Jora Jarrett and Raju getting the win with great combination of kicks to the face of Dale Springs. A nice start for this team. We would then get Sakura taking on Billie Starkz, and this was one match that was getting a lot of attention online, and for good reason. Both women really beat the hell out of each other at one point with forearms and chops. You even had Billie throwing in some Bryan Danielson-like kicks. EMI was even bleeding at one point. It was just vicious. Billie almost had it at one point after she did a tombstone pile driver. Then she would perform a senton and Tomoko, but then would miss with another senton onto the edge of the ring on the outside. It looked and sounded like it really hurt. Billie sold it so well. Then we would have a spot, probably the spot everyone was talking about, where Billie was laying against the entranceway, and EMI would run so hard right into Billie that she would leave a hole in the entranceway. It was just brutal. Then she would throw her right back into the ring, held her up in a double underhook for a very long time, and then hit her with a backbreaker. But somehow, someway, Billie was able to kick out, but EMI did not waste any time, as she would do a moonsault from the top rope to get the win that way. My god, what an absolute classic of a match this was. I think it's safe to say that not only was this the best match on the show, but this might be one of the best matches in Dark history. Following that is Dax Draper versus Brady Booker, formerly known as Bodie Hayward from Chase U in WWE. Brady came in with a lot of energy, and I always love to see people do stuff like that. Dax would also show a lot of strength in early going, spinning Brady in a side suplex position, made even more impressive by the size of Brady. This was a hard-fought match from the start, but as Brady showing off his strength by putting Dax in the torture rack and makes him tap out for the win in his AEW debut. After that, it's trios action with the Wingmen teaming up against Jay Marte, Jarrett Diaz, and Rich Adonis. The Wingmen would go right after the three of them, never really giving them too much of a chance to breathe. Cesar threw and beat up everybody. Jarrett Diaz would try to do something after his hot tag, but that didn't last long, with Cesar manhandling him, and with some great combination from all three of them, the Wingmen get the win. Next, we have the boys teaming up against Jeff Jarrett and Satnam Singh. Jeff Jarrett obviously has a ton of history in this place with Impact, operating out of it for as long as it did. And this was known contest, especially as soon as Satnam Singh entered the ring. He bounced one of the boys' heads like a basketball at one point, and even did a flying cross body, which was impressive for his size. The boys would try to do the best that they can to get some offense in against them, but it did not work, as Satnam would not only chokeslam, but pin the both of them to get the win. It's main event time with Tony Nese taking on Trent Beretta, and I really love this video package they played beforehand, really highlighting the history between the two of them, why they don't like each other, and showed a lot of old footage, which is always cool to see. The match started off with Tony Nese doing his best to one-up him early, even doing some jumping jacks to show off how much better he is. But with how good Trent is, that would not last long, with him fighting on the outside and hitting him with a crossbody. But Smart Mark, though, was not very happy and would get in Trent's face, allowing Tony Nese to take advantage and be in control for the majority of this match, getting in a lot of offense. But Trent, doing the best that he could to fight back, would do a superplex on the Tony. It was such a hard-fought match from start to finish, but because Tony wanted to inflict more damage, instead of getting the pin like Smart Mark wanted, Trent would take advantage of that and get the win in a fantastic main event. that was AEW Dark. What did you guys think about it? Please let me know down in the comment section below. Matches of the night, certainly Billie Starkz and Emi Sakura. That was just fantastic. Match of the night for me. But that main event between Trent Beretta and Tony Nese was a lot of fun as well. And with that being said, if you did enjoy today's review, please go right below this video, click that like button, that subscribe button, and ring the notification bell, because it's always that let you see past, present, and future reviews that I do. But also helps others to find my channel. And thank you guys once again for checking out this review, and thank you guys for being all elites.